Hello students, this is for the students of class 6th, chapter 1, lecture 2, and today we are going to learn about the programming languages. Now programming languages are the tools with which we give instructions to the computers. Now computers do not understand our human language, English, Hindi and others. They are very complicated for computers to understand. So, in order to make giving instructions to the computers easier, we invented these programming languages, and today we are going to learn about it. So, let's get started. So, this is we are going to learn what is a programming language. So, a programming language is a formal language which is designed to give instructions to the computers. Now, I already told you that the computers do not understand language of the humans. Computers understand binary language, which consists of zeros and ones. Now, everything inside of a computer is made up of electric signals, and there are very tiny electric parts inside of a computer known as transistors. Now, when the electricity is flowing through the transistor, the computer read it as 1, and when the electricity is not flowing through the transistor, the computer read it as 0. So based on these patterns of zeros and ones, we can pass instructions to the computers, and computer can understand it. Now, over the years, many programming languages have evolved. Now, the advent of the programming languages started with the advent of the computers. So, like in the 1935s and 1940s. So, over the years, the programming languages have evolved greatly, and mostly the programming languages are grouped into these four categories: first generation computer languages, second generation computer languages, third and fourth generation computer languages. So we are going to study about each of these generation languages one by one. So let's get started with the first generation computer languages. Now the first generation computer languages, they use binary codes, strings of zeros and one. Now binary code, it is a, it is, you can say it is a kind of a number system which only have 0 and 1. Now, I already told you that everything inside of a computer is an electric signal. So, based on the switching of on and off of the electric current, we can pass instructions to the computers. Now, everything inside of a computer is electric signal, already I told you. Now, here 0 means an off switch and 1 means an on switch. When the current is flowing, computer read it as 0, 1, and the current is not flowing, the computer read it as 0. Now this flow of current is actually carried out inside of the transistors. They are very tiny electrical components, and a computer have hundreds and thousands of them. A computer directly understands this language because it is very easy. Since the computer directly understands this language, the whatever instruction we give to the computer execute that instruction superbly fast. But the thing is, computer understand this languages of zeros and one very easily, but this is very difficult for us to write. I will give you an example where you will see that how difficult it is to write in binary languages. Plus, the thing is, if we commit any kind of an error while giving instructions to the computers, it is very difficult to solve that error. Plus, the binary languages, the first generation languages, they are computer specific, mean a program, a binary program, a first generation computer language program that you write for one computer may or may not work for the other computer. We can say that the first generation computer languages are machine specific. They only work on a specific machine on which they are designed and not work on the other machine. So here is an example of the binary code. We can see there is a strings of zeros and ones. Now the thing is, it is very difficult for us, for humans, to write this language. And if we commit any error here, if we by mistake write 1 in place of this 0, then the program will not execute, and it is very difficult for us to solve that. So that's why these are not very user friendly. Next, we are going to learn about second generation programming languages. Now, for the first time in these second generation programming languages, we started using English words, short words, for giving commands and instructions to the computers. Now, these languages were designed and created in the 1940s, so they are really, really old. Now, assembly languages is, we can say it's a category of languages that contain all the second generation programming languages, and it is very easier as compared to the first generation programming languages. It is very easy to write programs in the second generation programming languages. Now, again, a computer cannot understand this language. Computer only understands zeros and one, while we cannot write a program easily in zeros and ones. So we need an assembler. What does an assembler do? An assembler converts our assembly language program into machine language. Now, machine language here means the language of zeros and one, like this one. So an assembler is required. Now, assembler is another program which converts the assembly language into the machine code. This second generation programming languages are also machine dependent, means they only work on specific computers and may or may not work on another computer. So I'm going to show you an example of the second generation programming language. This is the assembly language, and this is the program for the assembly language. Now, what does this program do? This program actually adds two numbers together. This is a very simple program, and we can say that we are using English words and these English alphabets to write a program. Now, again, this language is not understood by a computer, so we need another program, an assembler, which converts this whole assembly language into the binary code, and that binary code is understood by the computer. Next, we are going to study about the 3GLs. Before that, let's study about Grace Hopper. Now, she was a very famous computer scientist of the 1940s and 50s, and she made tremendous contribution in the field of the programming languages. She was an American computer scientist and the US naval officer, and she was the first computer scientist who pioneered the idea of creating computer languages that contains English words. She first came up with the idea that it will be very easy for us to write programs in computer languages that contain English words. And she also popularized the idea of creating programs which are not bound with a single machine, whereas they are machine independent, mean we can write program in any language and they can work on any computer, not on some specific computer. She also oversaw the development of Flowmatic. Now, this Flowmatic was the first compiled language, means this language contain English words, and that language was more user friendly as compared to the assembly language. Now, we will study in a moment what is the meaning of compile, but this was a very popular figure and very powerful figure in the branch of computer science. Next, the third generation computer languages. These languages are actually improved version of the second generation programming languages. Now, in the second generation programming languages, we had words, we had alphabets and words, and same was done here. In the 3GLs, we use words and English alphabets to write programs. So it is very easy for us to write programs in the third generation computer languages. Again, these are high also. The 3GLs, third generation programming languages, they are known as high level programming languages. Now, again, these languages is not understood by the computers very easily. So we need a compiler. Now, what does a compiler do? A compiler works like an assembler. But assembler, it's a very little different from the assembler. What does a compiler do? A compiler converts the whole program written in 3GL into machine code. And a compiler does that in one go. I mean, the whole program is converted into the machine code altogether. Now, after the compiler runs, the whole program is converted into the machine code. The computer understands this program and execute the instructions. Again, a program written in 3GL is portable. Portable means a program written in the third generation programming language can run on different computers. Now, before the 3GLs, a program worked on specific computer, means a program written in one computer may or may not work in another computer. But with the 3GLs, we now had programs which were portable. That means that the same program can run on different computers and give us the required output, required results. Now, there are various 3GLs. Some names are here: Fortran, Basic, Pascal, C family. C family contains various programming languages. Now, all of your window programs, Windows is an operating system. These programs are written in this C++. So these are very, very powerful languages and one of the very first languages. Next, we are going to study about the 4GLs. Now, 4GLs, fourth generation programming languages, they are the advanced versions of the 3GLs. Now, in the 4GLs, up to the 3GLs, we were using only words and English alphabets, but now in the 4GLs we use phrases, English phrases. And when you read a fourth generation programming language, it much more look like something written in English. So it is very easy for us to write in the 4GLs and to understand it. These are also known as very high level programming languages. These are advanced versions of the 3GLs. Now, these languages are highly user friendly. Highly user friendly means it is very easy for humans to write programs in the 4GLs. These are also machine independent, mean a program written in 4GL can work on different computers and give us the same required results. The thing is, the development of an app or a program using 4GL is not time consuming. Now, if you're writing a program in 2GL or 3GL or in a binary language, it takes a lot of time, but not in the 4GL. It is very easy to write program in the fourth generation programming languages. Again, this language is not understood by the computers, so we need a compiler which converts the whole program written in the 4GL into the machine language, and then the computer understands that machine language, understands the instructions, and give us the necessary output. Now, here are some examples of the very high level programming languages, the 4GLs. There are Python, PHP, Delphi, Ruby, Go, SQL, Java, etc. Now, you see that there are lots and lots of programming languages. Now, each programming language is designed to serve a specific purpose. Now, as humans, we see that there are lots and lots of languages in the world. And the same is true for the programming languages. So there are lots and lots of languages with which we can give instruction to the computer, and each language have specific syntax. Now a syntax is a set of rules. Now as you study English, you always follow a set of rules known as English grammar to write perfect sentences. The same goes for the programming languages. Now each programming language come as a set come with a set of instructions and rules. And if you're writing a program in any of these languages, you have to follow those rules. And it takes some time to learn all these rules and to master the programming. Next, I'm going to give you an example of code written in various programming languages. Here it is. So we see four programs here. One is written in JavaScript, another in C++, another in Java, and this is the program written in Python. Now all these are the programming languages. So these are four programs, and what does each of these programs do is to add two numbers. Now this program written in JavaScript add two numbers, and now it is very difficult for you to understand these programs, but what I want to show you is if you read this, you can see phrases and words written in English. Input, process, start in terminal, reader dot online function, and string value 1. And right here in C we can see num1, num2. In the Python we can see the sprint function, map function, split function. All these are English words. So we have just witnessed that programming languages came a long way from zeros and ones to this present version, in which they are very easy to be written by the humans. So these are the advanced versions of the programming languages that we witnessed today. And this is the end of the lecture. If you don't understand anything, you can go over the lecture once again. Thank you so much for listening. Bye.